I may have left a scientist stranded on the moon in Kerbal Space Program. Say hello to Bob. Bob's been here for about 10 days on account of the fact that I didn't leave him enough fuel to get home. Okay, to be fair, someone who has better piloting skills could absolutely get him home. I think I left him like 700 meters per second of delta V. However, I'm bad at the game, so I deemed that this task was impossible and figured that the easier way to do things was to go back to Kerbin and design a brand new ship to come pick him up and bring him home. I went through multiple different designs, some with an excessive amount of fuel, and yet every single one failed to have enough to bring him home. That's probably my fault. Alright, intro's done. I'm getting some pasta. Okay. Instead of just telling you why all my missions failed and why I can't pick up Bob even with 1800 meters per second, you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's just follow this as we slingshot it past the moon and get it back to Kerbin, alright? We don't want to lose any more material out here than we have to. Okay, let me break down why I'm taking so long to set up this burn. Let's imagine we're this little blue ship right here, okay? That is us. We are currently on a direct collision course to the moon. That's great. Our goal is to get all the way back home to Kerbin. What we can do is use the moon's gravity and slingshot around the left side so that we end up hitting the atmosphere and slowing down enough to land. We don't have enough power to make it that far. So instead, we have to burn one time and already angle ourselves so that we can catch the atmosphere on the other side of the Earth. Now, because of the way that the moon rotates, it's going to be heading to our right as Kerbin moves to the left, which means if we head left and wait while we travel, we will eventually end up on the right side of Kerbin. So, we can predict that we'll land on the far right side and angle our ship accordingly. Okay, so rescue mission failed. However, we did recover our own probe. I wonder how Bob's doing. God, I hope he's okay. Okay, well, we're gonna have to call him, so let's go see how he's doing. Bob. Bob. Bob, you know you don't get paid if you don't make it back home, right? Alright. Well, the rescue mission didn't work out, which means we're gonna have to ask Bob to step it up a little bit. Orbiting the moon right now, we still have an unmanned project. I wonder how comfortable Bob is in his jetpack. Here's the game plan. We already have this unmanned satellite orbiting the moon in a favorable direction. If we get Bob into orbit, then he can transfer to here and he'll have enough juice to make it home. The main issue is the fact that his landing site's a little off the equator, so we're going to have to use any excess fuel to make those adjustments. What we're shooting for is something called a free return trajectory, where we orbit the same way we did last time and use as little fuel as possible in order to make it back, working with the revolution of the moon to our advantage. And that should be orbit achieved. Wonderful, with no fuel to spare. Now let's figure out where to transfer and... First try. Anyways, after a bunch of course correcting, we are back on track. It looks like our meeting point's going to be about 200 meters apart at the speed of a mild car crash, so I'm sure Bob's going to be just fine. If he misses, the only thing that happens is that the satellite crashes into the surface of the moon, but I'm sure he won't let that happen. Woohoo! After 7 fails, I decided it might be time to readjust the satellite orientation and have one final go with Bob before I call it quits. To be fair, I may have given him a really sharp angle to catch before it hits the ground. So instead, I think we're going to just go from a more stable orientation. Oh, that's wonderful. Hey Bob, did you remember to pack your parachute? No reason. Get him off my screen. Do you remember back when I talked about I went through multiple ship variations to get to Bob? Well, he's currently riding in this one, and that notably has no parachutes. A design flaw to be sure, but I can't be bothered. Let's go watch him re-enter the atmosphere. He's fine.